Yo, what up? Russ Practically here, back with another video. And this time, it's gonna be a short one. I wanna talk about the Final Fantasy 16 DLC, Echoes of the Fallen. I have some things to say about it, so let's get into it. All right, so Final Fantasy 16 Echoes of the Fallen is the first of the 2 story DLCs that were announced. We literally knew nothing else about them besides they're going to have story elements in them. And so with the first one, we finally get to see what direction they're kind of going. Right off the bat, I gotta say, the DLC was fine. It wasn't anything spectacular. It was more Final Fantasy 16, which is not a bad thing. However, in the grand scheme of things, I was kind of hoping for a bit more. It seems like they really chose not to reinvent the wheel or not bring any kind of new engaging ideas to the table. It's literally just like a side story. That's really it. Also to mention, I played this DLC on my normal clear save data. So I don't know if you can tackle it on Final Fantasy mode. And if you can, I don't know what the changes will be. This is the way that most people will probably play it. I'm assuming, maybe not. I don't know. I could be wrong, but that's how I played it. So that's what I'm speaking on. So to get into that a little bit, this DLC side story takes place right before the end of the game, like literally right before you head to the final mission. It pops up as basically another side quest. And this deals with some of the history of the Fallen, who, if you don't know who the Fallen are, they're a group of beings that lived on the planet before the humans that we see now. And this deals with one of their ancient structures that is being used as a mine to mine crystals. And so the journey is to find out where these crystals came from. And on top of that, why are there sudden tremors happening throughout the world? Now, before this DLC came out, me and probably a lot of other people were probably wanting more on, the Fallen, as well as, the Lost Icon, which Leviathan is pictured but never really shown. Some more history on the icons as well. And we got that. This game delivered on the Fallen part, but the more I've sat on it, the more I feel the impact of what this side story has on the overall main universe. But it just felt like the story, while it is self-contained and concise, it didn't satisfy me like I was hoping it would, and it just left me wanting more. And not more in the fact like I can't wait for more, it's just more in the fact I wanted more just in this DLC and in it of itself. On top of that, the DLC is very, very short. It took me about 3 hours to beat it. Moving on to other aspects of the game, the premise, you're just climbing a tower and beating all the challenges, which I can't even call them challenges, you're just beating the bosses all the way up to the top of the tower. And it is a single run through. There's no checkpoints really that I can remember. You have your limited items and you got to go straight to the top. But honestly, it's not as bad as I might be making it sound. It's like 3 or 4 floors. As big as the tower is, like you're only going up like 3 or 4 levels. That is kind of disappointing. I wish that they let you explore other parts of the tower if at all possible. Like you get to see some things going on. Like I said, you see the creatures that are in the test tubes. There's a floor that has a whole bunch of disgusting flesh muscle attached all over the place. So would have been cool to be able to explore more of the tower. It just kind of sucks that you go in here kind of really expecting to like really have a climb the tower challenge. That's the way to kind of set it up like. And it's not that. You go up a floor, you fight like 2, 3, 4 times maybe, then you fight a boss, go up the next floor, maybe open a door or 2, do the same thing until you reach the final boss. And then you might have like a platform off to the side where you can like view outside of the tower and just look at the trees that are on the ground and a giant crater. But that's about it. I feel like they kind of missed the ball on that because the combat, it has not changed. You get a new weapon and you get a ton of new accessories. They throw a whole bunch of new accessories at you that you get to use that'll change up how your abilities work, how like they'll affect cooldowns or your health regen and different things like that. So those are nice. I've used a couple of them and had a few that I actually liked, but that's really it. And it's kind of a shame. I feel like they could have done a bit more with the whole climb the tower premise. They could have had a whole bunch of different combat challenges thrown at you, which would have made it a lot more interesting because people have said that they get bored of the combat in Final Fantasy 16, myself included. It's been enough time that I found it refreshing and I had to like get readjusted to it, as well as it's short enough to where I didn't really feel that bored. But at the same time, like you're just doing the same shit you did in the main game. Some of the enemies in this game, in this DLC, are kind of annoying. The regular Fallen dudes are fine. Like I don't have a problem with them. It's mainly the boss encounters that kind of suck. And honestly, when I say that, it's the last one. Because now they want to have this dude have 4 phases, I believe. And then he just wants to fill the screen with a whole bunch of shit. One that kind of got annoying because it was basically just constantly tap the dodge button over and over again until he stops. And then 2, it felt like when you were trying to time dodges for certain attacks, it just didn't work. And 3, you're just falling back into a combat pattern that you were used to. Whatever strategy you had that worked in the main game is going to work here. Plain and simple. Like, there's nothing really challenging about this DLC besides the fact that their attacks can just annoy the f out of you. Like, if you get hit, like, it hurts, and they try to hit you a lot. So yeah, the music is really good. I think there's a couple of new songs, and I think there's a remix. No new battle theme. I mean, aside from the boss fight. And yeah, like I said, it was short. And that leading into the fact that this DLC is only like $10. It's hard to say, like, not give this a try since it's fairly cheap. Is it really worth it? That depends on how much you really care about learning more about the Final Fantasy 16 universe and just wanting to play the game. If you're not really about that, I'd say it's not worth it. You could easily pass up on this. And even if you did like 16, I'd say that it probably really won't add any more to your enjoyment, especially if you didn't really play for the story. Like, to be honest, the only reason you're playing this DLC is for the story. And if you weren't invested in the story at all, then there's no point in you actually trying to go out and get this. So yeah, those are my thoughts on the Echoes of the Fallen DLC. We still got one more DLC to come. I cannot think of the name of it right now, and I don't feel like looking it up. But hopefully that will maybe make more sense of what this one was, or make this feel like more worth it in the end. I don't know. I'm just kind of spitballing here. Have you played Echoes of the Fallen? What'd you think about it? Let me know in the comments down below. Was it worth it to you guys? What'd you think of the new story? What did you think of the new story? God. What did you think of the new story elements they added in the game? God damn. And yeah, what are you hoping to see moving forward? So I appreciate you for watching this video. Go ahead and subscribe, like, share the video, follow me on all my socials. Links to those will be in the description down below. And yeah, till next time, I'm Russ, out. Later.